pleasant good evening and welcome to SAT TV News. I am Nisha Charles.
And I am Deslin Joseph.
And we are your presenters for the evening. Thank you for joining us. Among the major developments, the NCCU Visa debit card is here.
UN is committed to addressing pressing Caribbean issues.
China's Bo Xilai expelled and accused of corruption.
And in sports, Dominica failed to advance to the second round of the 2012 CFP Digital Cup competition.
Details of these and other stories after the break.
Say goodbye to those miserable diets that leave you hungry and depressed and replace them with Tosh Snacks. Tosh Snacks are low in calories, have less fat, less sugar, and are packed with nutrition. So you always have lots of energy to walk or exercise and remove all those extra calories. Your diet will love the light honey crackers, sesame seeds, chocolate or vanilla wafers, fruit and grain, oats, fruit or granola cookies, oats with chocolate bits, and brand new cracker cereal fusion. No hungry, miserable, or depressed feelings with Tosh Snacks. Ask the fans. Right place, right price.
Support local. Support SAT Telecommunications Limited, the people's choice. Join hands with us. Come and sign up for your digital TV connection today. We got the sharpest, cleanest, brightest digital TV connection. No antiquated analog service, only pure digital and many new packages coming soon. With latest in sports, movies, children programming and much more. So if you have your flat screen TV and you want to see quality TV, join now. Sign up today for your digital television. Support local, support SAT Telecommunications Limited, the people's choice.
Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. Amalgamations of credit unions is the only way forward for the survival of the credit movement since individual credit unions are no longer viable. That was the topic of the 5th anniversary debate of the Kiwanis Club of Waitakobuli in collaboration with the Central Credit Union. Ms. Jemima Matthew from the Goodwill Secondary School is proposing this topic and says that amalgamation has indeed been a success and individual credit unions have been kept afloat. Amalgamation has benefited the individual credit unions immensely. Even when these credit unions emerged, they could not realize a sustainable profit.
A perfect example is the merger of the credit unions in the South. Although these credit unions merged, their annual profit was only $30,000. Do you believe, my dear opponents, this is sustainable? Amalgamation has predominantly reaped benefits. Some of the benefits realized through this merger may seem simple, but they are not.
She argues that there is now the ease, convenience, and access to resources and services such as ATM machines, financial aid, and increased business development. Her opponent, Ms. Alicia Aaron of the Portsmouth Secondary School, says that amalgamation of the credit unions is not the only way forward for the survival of the credit unions. Despite the option of amalgamation, there are a number of disadvantages that come with this change. For one, the individual credit union will lose its identity with that change.
That certain association will no longer exist and cannot continue to go by its own rules and agendas. Secondly, the local community involvement is affected. The people in the community of that union are all important because whether or not they save their money will affect the newly joined union. If they are not supportive of the movement and they cannot trust the movement, they will not associate themselves with the movement.
In order for a cooperative to be successful, the community must cooperate. Ms. Aaron asks how can they do this when what was so personal to them is now shared. Ms. Jemima Matthew says the merge is beneficial because now the cost of operation is measured against a larger asset base and income, and this allows them to now increase advertising, training, and implement major capital expenses such as security access and an upgrade in information technology.
For example, the necessary equipment for the information security feature was recently installed so that the Central is now PCI complement. That is, prepaid card industry compliant. This was done in order to prepare the credit union for ATMs and prepaid international cards, which will now be completed in the near future.
She is certain that amalgamation is the only remedy to prevent the demise of the credit union movement and strengthens the viability of the individual credit union. However, Ms. Aaron reminded her opponent that in order to continue a successful organization, it can incur huge costs, and this may be more of a liability than if they had not gone through with the merger in the first place.
Not only does the amalgamation prove to be imperfect, but there are alternatives that could be taken to avoid the amalgamation of the credit unions. For example, new services could be added to increase the interest of members and the prospective members, such as the introduction of debit and credit cards.
The Portsmouth Secondary School emerged winners with 257 points, while the Goodwill Secondary gained 229.5 points. The participants of the debate received tokens of appreciation and plaques.
Throughout the week, Parliamentary Representative of Roseau Central, Mr. Norris Prevost, made the decision to visit preschools to educate the children on our national emblems, such as our national prayer, which many of us are not aware of. Earlier in the week, Mr. Prevost visited the Shalom Preschool. However, today he paid a visit to the Convent Prep and later on the Spicy Center.
For the week, I have been visiting a number of schools in Roseau. I have visited the Social Center, the Sacred Heart Preschool on Virgin Lane. Today I'm visiting the Convent Prep, and I'm also visiting Spices and Horizon Preschools on Cork Street. And yesterday I also visited Brighter Beginning on Upper Lane. Our children are our future, and to build good citizens, we need to start with our youngest ones.
He shared information about the emblems such as the national anthem, the national symbols, and the national flower to raise the awareness of the national prayer.
Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. One of the things that our children and our families can do for Dominica is to pray our national prayer for Dominica. Pray that good things happen to Dominica. Dominica needs a lot of prayers from all its citizens.
Mr. Prevost added that he was impressed with the children's participation and how well they sang the national anthem.
I really was so excited and impressed at the reverence and the fervor with which our young kids sang the national anthem. I feel that the formation they're getting here at the prep school is really helping to build, and it's up to us, the adults at home and in the communities, to continue to promote good citizenship among our children, to be examples to them in the things we do and the things we say and the things we stand for.
The teachers at the Convent Prep say they are grateful for the brochures Mr. Prevost brought for the children, and they are going to use it as a teaching tool. As Mr. Prevost continued his journey, he visited children from the younger age group at the Spicy Center. Here's a clip of Mr. Prevost saying the national prayer to the children at the Spicy Center.
Can you say that?
We give thee thanks, O God.
Can we say it again?
We give thee thanks, O God.
So we're going to pray our national prayer, and we're going to say, we give thee thanks, O God. Teachers, will you join me? Let us pray. Let us give thanks for all God's goodness and the wonderful heritage into which we have entered, for Dominica, our island home, the land of our birth. And we all say,
we give thee thanks, O God.
In more local news, Minister of Tourism and Legal Affairs, Honorable Ian Douglas, says that greater appreciation and cooperation is needed for tourism to be much more beneficial in Dominica. Mr. Douglas made the statement as World Tourism Day was recognized on Thursday, September 27th. He said that tourism is very important all around the world, but it is the most important sector in Dominica because of its ability to generate a lot of income. Although in the past World Tourism Day has not received a grand celebration in Dominica compared to Tourism Awareness Month, his ministry in the upcoming years will be looking to upscale the recognition of this day while making it an annual event.
Its purpose is to foster awareness among the international community of the importance of tourism and the social, cultural, political, and the economic value of tourism. This day seeks to address the global challenges outlined in the United Nations Millennium Development Goals and to highlight the contribution of the tourism industry and the contribution that the tourism industry can make in reaching those goals. Every year, the UNWTO invites all interested parties to take part in special celebrations taking place all around the world and in their respective countries or holiday destinations.
World Tourism Day was celebrated under the theme, Tourism and Sustainable Energy, Powering Sustainable.
This year's theme aims to highlight tourism's role in a brighter energy future, a future in which the world's entire population has access to modern, efficient, and affordable energy services, and we in Dominica can certainly identify with that. One of the world's largest economic sectors, tourism, is especially well placed to promote environmental sustainability, green growth, and our struggle against climate change through its relationship with energy.
Mr. Douglas stated that Dominica is well placed in this effort, bearing in mind our exciting initiatives at harnessing the potential of our geothermal resources. At the ministry, they are looking forward in the near future where they can produce cheaper energy for driving our industries and more particularly for the tourism industry as the government continues to pursue geothermal energy with purpose. The tourism minister says all this is being done with a single goal of providing Dominicans with a reduced cost of energy while providing greater opportunities for doing business here.
Tourism today is at the forefront of some of the world's most ambitious and innovative clean energy solutions. The aviation industry is implementing cutting-edge technologies to make aircraft lighter than ever before. Commercial flights are beginning to use biofuels in their fuel mix. Keycard systems and energy-saving light bulbs are increasingly being implemented in hotel rooms around the world. And tour operators are asking for energy efficiency throughout their supply chains. The theme is also an opportunity to ensure that international tourism continues to play a role in tackling the major energy challenges of our time.
As the Caribbean and specifically Dominica prepare for the commencing of the tourism season, including cruise season on Monday, October 1st, it is important that we in Dominica consolidate our efforts and put all measures in place to take advantage of the opportunities that await us.
And in more local news, the NCCU Visa Debit Card is here. It is a card that gives you cash in your hands anytime, anywhere. This was announced at the launching ceremony of the International Debit Card from the National Cooperative Credit Union on Friday, September 28th. At the credit union, they have dreamt of having a debit card for their members to gain international access to their cash. President of the NCCU, Mr. Dexter Ducre, says a card management software was needed to interface with their core product, and they found BeaverTech to do just that.
Unlike other software companies, BeaverTech was extremely flexible in delivering a quality product. There was never an instant where we felt that they were trying to charge additional fees. On the contrary, they ensured that we did not pay unnecessary fees. For some time, I pondered as to the reason why they were so accommodating and reasonable in their pricing strategy until I met Barry in Canada.
The design of the card was derived from a competition among staff which displays the card with shades of blue and yellow, the colors of the Society's League. Mr. Ducre says prior to the launching they issued test cards to members, and from all reports it can be used in China.
The card can be used in all ATM machines with the Visa logo. It can be used to purchase products online and at all points of sales in Dominica and overseas. In addition, the card can be linked to an account of your choice. It will be able, the card will be used to link to an account of your choice, and in addition, you'll be able to see all the accounts with NCCU.
President of BeaverTech, Mr. Barry Walsh, wishes NCCU and its customers all the best with their newfound card.
I can also use this opportunity. Now that you have an international debit card, you can come to Canada and you can pay us a visit and see if you can get money from the Canadian machines as well.
Members are asked to come into any branch to exchange their old cards for a new one or simply get a new international debit card. They are also launching their Now to Now program where you can get a loan to up to $8,000 on a loan within half an hour by just bringing in your salary slip.
With the Access Dominica 2-day conference coming to a close on Thursday, September 27th, stakeholders from various sectors of business are labeling the conference as successful and necessary. Secretary General and Chief Executive Officer of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, Mr. Hugh Riley, says he was very pleased with the quality and content of the discussions, while thanking Dominica for taking a very focused approach for a problem which troubles the entire Caribbean. Mr. Riley said that the fact that Dominica has taken a frontal approach into solving this issue speaks volumes.
Dominica, of course, is a cog, and a very important cog in this entire wheel of Caribbean tourism. We move, or we see the movement of, over 1.5 million Caribbean people across the region every year. And anything that threatens that movement, anything that restricts them, affects the tourism economies of all of our member countries in the CTO. And the fact that Dominica has, on this particular occasion, brought together people who can find solutions. We're very good at identifying the problems, and it's important that we keep on sharpening our focus on the problems and ventilating those problems. But Dominica, and I really must compliment Minister Douglas and Discover Dominica Authority, Colin Piper, for looking past the identifying of the problems, bringing someone like Ian Bertrand in to find what the solutions are. This is a collaborative effort, and so the fact that Dominica has brought people together who can help to solve the Dominica problem and by extension help to find solutions for the wider Caribbean is very pleasing to see.
Mr. Riley pointed out that during the conference, they focused on areas such as the movement of Caribbean people around the Caribbean, connectivity between international and regional carriers, and the advantages of Canefield versus Melville Hall Airport. The issue of dealing with other restrictions that might hinder tourism growth beyond physical access was also discussed, such as aviation taxation, which they continue to monitor closely. Mr. Riley said that we all have to be concerned because anytime the cost of product increases, it also affects the demand. Minister of Tourism and Legal Affairs, Honorable Ian Douglas, pointed out that since tourism is the main income and foreign exchange earner in the country, we must all try to do what is necessary to bring more visitors to the country to spend money.
And I believe that we had very fruitful discussions, and I think that a lot of concrete proposals came out of our discussions. And more importantly too, it allowed all of the players in the sector, all the persons who matter, to come together in one room to interface and to meet with each other. So much so that I believe that there are some 4 airlines that have shown interest in seeing what we can do about the airlift situation in Dominica. So in that alone, for that alone, we can say that this conference has been very productive, and I think we're setting the platform to build on this conference and to really address some of the key issues of air access and the constraints that we are faced with on a daily basis.
The tourism minister says what they are looking forward to is a collaborative endeavor where all of the airlines can come together to find ways they can assist in bringing more tourists to Dominica. He added that they should also work on creating stronger inter-regional connections to lessen the time and hassle visitors experience before arriving to a destination. Tourism Officer at the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS Secretariat, Ms. Lorraine Nicholas, says that the issue of air transportation and its challenges has been a main topic of discussion for some time at their meetings of OECS Council of Tourism Ministers. Ms. Nicholas pointed out that air transportation has been identified as a priority area in their recently developed common policies for the OECS.
So air transportation and its challenges has become a major component of my work program at the OECS Secretariat. And as I informed the gathering yesterday, the OECS Secretariat has recently secured funding from the European Commission under the 10th EDF program for a project entitled OECS Economic Integration for Trade of the OECS region, and under that project we have a tourism component. And for the first program estimate for this project, one of the activities we have programmed is to commission a study which will empirically assess the limitations or the factors that inhibit intra-regional travel.
Ms. Nicholas added what they plan to do now is empowering access, what these factors are, with a view of providing justification to the political directorates and others. She says this is to know what should be done in various areas such as taxation and other similar areas that pose threats and challenges to the air transportation sector in the region.
Titiwi lovers will satisfy their taste buds this weekend at the annual Titiwi Festival will be on Sunday, September 30th, after an absence last year as a result of the Mathieu Dam overflowing its banks. Parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency, Honorable Kelva Daru, says this will be a great opportunity for fish vendors and small businesses to benefit from, which in turn will aid in the growth of the economy of Layu.
I must commend the work that the Layu Improvement Committee is doing in really promoting and really pushing the festival. And at this year's festival, once again, there will be a scholarship awarded to a student from the community of Layu who attended the primary and secondary school. And that scholarship was initiated by the Member of Parliament for the area. And that scholarship is really to empower that young person to go to school and attain a proper education. And all of this is an effort to ensure that we can have our young people engaged in positive things.
Mr. Daru added that moving forward, we will see the community of Layu progressing, especially as it relates to the education and the overall development. It is very important that persons island-wide attend this Titiwi festival, which has been going on for the past 4 to 5 years, so they can help the economy of Layu grow while they indulge in their favorite Titiwi dish.
Every year you have a Titiwi festival. Like I said, it started about 4 or 5 years ago. And the Titiwi festival is an event that people look forward to. And I must say that over the years, we've seen quite a number of patrons come down to the community of Layu and support the festival. Of course, the Titiwi is something that people enjoy a lot across this country. And we've seen now several dishes being made out of the Titiwi. And I'm sure that this Sunday there might be something new that comes up, because persons always find ways to really make a new dish out of a Titiwi. I recall it started with Titiwi Aqua, and people went to make all kinds of dishes.
This festival allows people to set up a small business, which will, while providing them with an income, they will also help the economy of their community. Mr. Daru says that the income generated from the festival also aids in the area of education, as a scholarship was given to a student of the community by the Layu Improvement Committee, which will continue annually.
But the Layu Improvement Committee now has implemented a Titiwi Trust Fund, where other persons can contribute something to that fund, education fund, so that other young persons who may be at a disadvantage or who may be less fortunate than others can have the opportunity to at least get some assistance to attend school and to make a better life for themselves and their families.
He says this could only be done with the success of the Titiwi Festival, hence the reason why he is urging all to attend to make it continuously successful and event patrons to look forward to each year.
Well, it is very important, because I think that we have to continue to support what is ours. And this was a very original idea and unique idea which was developed in the community of Layu, because this is where you find the base of the Titiwi in Dominica. And I believe the Layu community has suffered a lot over the last year. We had the collapse of the Mathieu Dam, which really impacted on the community. And government, of course, responded in a very positive and practical way to really come to the aid of the fishermen down there. We also had the program in place for the women who were disadvantaged after the floods. They did programs in international cooking and the sewing. And this really, I must say, empowered these women now to become self-employed and to go out there and try to make some form of livelihood for themselves. And that, I believe, augurs well for the community. Layu is a small community, but there's a lot of talent down there, and I believe that moving forward, we can only see the continued development of this community.
The event is expected to be a whole-day activity of recreational, in addition to eating Titiwi prepared in all forms possible.
The Dominica Festivals Committee, the DFC, on Friday the 28th of September, kicked off its series of Friday Festival Duivets, which was done as part of its promotion for the Sweet 16 edition of the World Creole Music Festival. This started with a street parade at 4:30 p.m. from the Roseau Bayfront and moved through to various streets in Roseau, which attracted a number of curious onlookers. This Friday's Festival Duivet started with a parade from outside the office of headline sponsors, Digicel on the Bayfront, and continued left to Kennedy Avenue, right on Independence Street, right to Cork Street, left on the Bayfront, and through to Victoria Street to Crazy Coconuts, the home of Festival Duivets. The Festival Duivets will this year have a thematic ring to them, starting with this weekend's theme on food, to be followed by Homage to Jeff on October 5th, dance theme on October 12th, and a DJ Clash and Fashion show on October 19th. Each festival Duibe will feature a mix of local musical and other performing talents, along with opportunities for fans to purchase tickets to the World Creole Music Festival at a reduced price and the chance to win several prizes from sponsors and other partners of the festival.
The Dominican Youth joins with the young people around the Caribbean to commemorate Caribbean Youth Day, September 30th, 2012. The theme of this year's event is Youth Harnessing Positive Energy for Caribbean Development. This theme is a call to positive action from our youth and to development and engage partners and for our youth. Young people under the age of 30 comprise approximately 60% of the region's citizenry, and there is vested interest in ensuring that the voices of the young are heard by our heads of government and stakeholders. There is a need for strengthening national youth councils and youth parliaments, as well as the revision and, in some cases, the creation of national youth policies that will aid in youth development in the region. The CARICOM Youth Ambassadors of Dominica says the young people of Dominica should be ready to lead, act, educate, and innovate. In addition, they should be ready to highlight the positive contributions that our young people across the region are making, which are often overshadowed by the few who participate in negative activities.
One man is in custody and is assisting with investigations into a stabbing incident in Saint-Sever. The Catbus police is conducting investigations into the death of a middle-aged man, Eddie Lewis, of Petite-Soufrière. Lewis is reported to have died as a result of a stab wound he sustained to his lower abdomen during an altercation with another man of Good Hope. The body was transported to the Catbus Health Center, where it was pronounced dead by the district medical officer upon arrival. The incident occurred at about 12:30 p.m. on the 28th of September 2012. A coroner's inquest will be convened to be followed by a post-mortem examination to determine the cause of death.
This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.